Welcome, everyone. I am so excited and honored to have Celine with us here this morning. She is one of my beautiful soul sisters. She is a dear friend. She is also a graduate of WiseMind Soul Warrior, and she is also a nurse practitioner. And so I am super excited to have her share with you her success story around WiseMind Soul Warrior and how she's going to be doing it in the future. So Celine, let's start with sharing with everyone what has been your personal journey and transformation around WiseMind Soul Warrior. What are some of the things that you've seen a change in, and whether that is your stress resilience, being able to regulate your emotions, whether it's being more calm as a mom or as a wife at work. Is it transforming, the shadow and soul work around your perfectionist or overachieving, or have you been able to transform your loud inner critic voice? So what has it been? Kind of share with us, and you might be able to tap into what you did in your shadow work paper of, what transformation have you seen?
A little bit of all of that, to be honest. I think that there was, in my first 200 hours, there was probably a level of physical change and emotional change, spiritual change. I was much more able I was much more able to handle stressors. I was able to regulate my emotions more. I was able to meditate and breathe through things. It helped me learn how to deal with my mental and my emotional baggage. Going into yoga it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Some of them are beautiful and they're light, and then there's a lot of darkness that comes out that bubbles to the surface, and you didn't know it was there. You didn't realize it was there. You're not sure why certain things bring it out. Some postures bring out certain emotions. Some postures you avoid, and that may be something to do with your own personal inner critic, whether it's a perfectionist. And I tend to be a perfectionist. So I did find that I tried to perfect every pose in my first 200. I have that inner critic voice that I had to learn how to try to silence, and that is challenging. My 500 was a little bit different. My 500 was in yoga psychology with you, Jenny. And that helped me sort of see the roots to where some of these darker things that bubble to the surface come from. I learned that you can't tackle, or you can't move into the light and be the light really at your inner depth unless you tackle and face the things that are in the darkness. We just gloss over them and ignore and override. We're only changing ourselves on the surface. We're not really doing the deep work that we need to do to really transform and be the best us that we want to be.
Well, I absolutely love that. So first of all, I can totally relate to, as you know, and a lot of you have heard me talk about this, and Celine, I know you have, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it's important, that I am also a recovering perfectionist. And yoga has definitely helped me, like you just said, transform that perfectionist. And I'm getting goosebumps talking about this because, I can so relate to what you just said about like being a perfectionist when it comes to the poses, because that's exactly what I did when I first started yoga 10 years ago. Everything was like, it was very like power vinyasa, high achiever, what I would call type A yoga, Ashtanga based. Like, how can I get myself in a pretzel, and can I do a full lotus?
How can I,
can I do a full lotus? Can I do these different poses? And I wasn't even conscious of it yet. I didn't even know that that was one of my samskara patterns, right? So until I started my work in 2017 and went to Los Angeles and did this huge immersion in yoga psychology, which is the inspiration for what I do today, I had no idea when I started yoga. All I knew is that it made me feel better. It improved my mood. It helped with my anxiety, my depression, my insomnia.
All of it.
It made me feel like, it was a self-care gift I was giving to myself. It was what I would call a healthy addiction, because I definitely almost became addicted to it. Like,
That was me.
but in a good way. I mean, if there's things that I'm not here as a proponent, because everybody's an addict of something, right? So whether you're an addict of social media, Netflix binges, drinking, drugs, overworking, whatever the thing is, right? We all have addictions. And the thing is, though, if you're going to have an addiction, let it be a healthy addiction, right? Let it be, I'm addicted to exercise, or I'm addicted to yoga, or whatever the thing is. And I'm not here as an advocate for addiction. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, when I started yoga 10 years ago, I could have went on a lot of paths that were not healthy. I could have, I went into a very deep, dark place. Like you said, like, yoga will take you to these places where it is going to shine the light on your shadow. It is going to show you the things that you need to change. And once that light of yoga is lit, there is no turning back. Like, your lens and your perspective changes, and there's no going back to the person you used to be. There just is not. But
there's no unseeing the darkness that the light shined on it. There's no unseeing those root causes.
No.
You see them, they're there, and you just know you have to address them. And
and to your point, like with the shining the light, it's a positive thing. But you just have to know you're never going to be 100% ready for it.
Nope. You have to be. This comes up when it shouldn't be there.
You have to be able. No, there's no not shoulding. That's where true. It should be. It's meant to come up at that time.
True.
So that's the process of yoga psychology. That's the process of what we do at WiseMind, is that everything is happening as it should, and everything is happening on time. And the things that show up, and the teachers that show up. So those of you that see me here on this live and watch the replay, or see me on Instagram, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And everybody is coming as they are. And everyone is coming from different places in their healing journey. Some of you have tried talk therapy. Some of you have tried other programs. Some of you are on medication, all the things. And I'm here to tell you, I did them all. Okay. I tried medication, didn't work for me. That's just me personally. I know I have nothing against people taking medication. I'm sharing my own personal journey. I tried talk therapy for over 20 years. Okay, so until I did this work that I'm teaching to Celine and that I have taught to these students, I was not able to transform the patterns that were not serving me anymore. I was living in generational trauma that I didn't even know about. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. Okay, so Celine, tell everyone for a moment about what it was like when you and I got on a consultation. And I know that we know each other, but I still treated it like a full, yoga psychology consult, just like I would with any other student getting on a consultation with me. So kind of share with everybody what it was like and what I'm like, because, personally, the people out there that don't know me, that I'm not a pushy person. I'm going to just listen to what's going on, and then I'm going to make a recommendation one way or the other if we can help or support them. So kind of just tell me, or tell the audience rather, the students that are listening, what it would be like to get on a call with me.
It's, it's really interesting and amazing, because I knew you from my 200, and we had not separated ways. We had just gone, and COVID happened. Everybody sort of had to stay indoors. We lived on opposite ends of the town. Work was a bit crazy at the hospital, and so we just sort of lost touch with each other. During that time, I think I was in a different place in my life. I had different needs. I had different concerns than I did when you first met me and got to know me. And getting on the call with you, it was like you knew everything already without me having to say anything, but you listened. You're a great listener. There's clearly no judgment. You can tell you just want to help. You weren't surprised by any of what I was saying, any of the changes, you were ready to help point me in a direction. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do this or not. I didn't know if I had the mental bandwidth to do it. I didn't know if I wanted to address the dark shadows. I didn't know if I was ready for it. You listened, you didn't push me in any direction, and just your responses sort of cued me to where and what I wanted to do next.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I truly did, like I said just a few minutes ago, I truly did come from a place of listening, because ultimately it is a custom consultation. It really is a consultation. It's not a sales pitch. It's not a sales call. It's a consultation. And that's important for me to emphasize that, because when people hear like consult call, they think like it's a sales call and I'm going to pressure them into buying something. That's not what this is.
Yeah.
This is literally us having a conversation about, you tell me what you're struggling with. What are some things that you've tried?
Mm-hmm.
Are you dealing with anxiety, depression? Or are you a perfectionist?
Mm-hmm.
Are you overworking? Are you over drinking? Are you overeating? Are you having problems in your relationships? What is the thing? Okay. What is it that where you're feeling stuck that you're ready to change?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that's the most important thing. You're never 100% ready to change, but the suffering, right? As we say in yoga, the suffering will get enough. And when the suffering and the pain is enough, then you're ready to make a change.
Yeah.
So I also get on a call with people to see where are they in that process? What have they done in their healing journey, right? Because if somebody is, for example, having panic attacks and they're in the middle of an emergency, like something major is happening for them, they're not in a place to join the program. They need to go see a therapist. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's another reason. I mean, there's been only a handful of people in that situation, but I have gone on calls like that where I had to be like, listen, come back to us, after you've done some work. But that's another reason why I do these calls, because it is also an application process to bring people into the program. And whether that's a yoga teacher certification or whether you're joining the group coaching route, or self-paced, I still want to have that connection to make sure that, even though no one's 100% ready, you are at least ready emotionally and mentally, physically to step into this, because it is a commitment. It is a time and energy commitment. But I can guarantee you, and I know Celine can back me up on this, that every amount of energy and time and financial commitment that you make, you will get back over tenfold.
You really do. It's life-changing. It really is. And in a good way.
Yeah.
It can be a little scary, but all good things.
Change is
like a lot of work,
Yeah.
Scary, but change is necessary. We can't stay in the same patterns forever.
Yeah. And change is hard, right? Like
it is super hard.
If doing inner work was easy, Celine, everybody would do it.
Exactly.
Okay. Like if this shadow work and soul work stuff was easy, the whole
world would be a better place.
Yeah, the whole world would be at peace. But the problem is not a problem, but the obstacle is that you have to make the decision and make the choice that I'm done living the way I'm living. I'm done with these patterns, whatever it is for you. And I'm stepping into change, and I'm stepping through the fear, because guess what? I'm going to have fear. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
The difference is that you overlook the fear and you step into the change anyway. Because I was scared. I mean, I didn't know my teacher. Like when I committed to going to LA for my immersion, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. A 2-year immersion that I did. And all I knew in my heart and my soul is that I was being called to do this, and I was meant to do it. And
so I have the rest of us into.
And I've told a lot of students this, and I just want to put this out there, that you have to listen to your intuition, and you have to listen to what your heart and your soul is telling you, because your mind and your brain, your thinking mind, is going to find every excuse to talk you out of it.
Sure will.
And this isn't going to work. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I mean, on and on and on. That your thinking mind and your brain is meant to keep you safe. And so what does keeping you safe do? It stays in the exact same patterns that you're in, even if they're not serving you. Even if I'll give you an example. Like say you are struggling with being overly reactive. Say you're struggling with anger. That was something that I had to change, which I'm very grateful to say now I don't have it anymore.
Me too.
But because of the way I grew up in my family of origin, and because my dad had the trauma that he did, and we had 4 generations of emotional, mental, and physical abuse, I was a target of anger. So I was never physically abused, but I lived in fear all the time